We can start? Okay, thank you. And during my presentation, please let me know if everything is fine, because I cannot see in the same time the presentation and also the screen. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. My name is Angela Andrei. I'm happy to be in this session. I'm a scientific researcher at the Unit of Research in Education from the National Center for Policy and Evaluation in Education from Bucharest, Romania. And I will present my paper with the title, Evaluating a Career Guidance Program, Insights from Practitioners and Decision Makers. What are the main key points in my paper? So I have introduction and objectives, theoretical basis, methodology, results, and conclusions. The section of results is divided in 3 subsections: how the activities of a career guidance program have been evaluated, how teachers, students, and parents have been involved in the process of evaluation, and how the participation in a career guidance program named Academic and Career Planning influences the students. In the first section, I'd like to share with you the fact that this study was done during a research I did in 2018-2019. I obtained the Fulbright scholarship at the Boston University, the Wheelock College of Education and Human Development in United States. And during this scholarship, I did a study and also a study visit in the state of Wisconsin for 1 week. During this week, I had interviews with decision makers and practitioners on the topic of evaluation of career guidance programs. And I discussed with them how a specific program, academic and career planning, was implemented and evaluated at district level in the state of Wisconsin. The reason was, for me, I wanted to learn and to understand how they do evaluation of career guidance programs, because in Romania, at my institution, I worked on a school curricula for primary school and middle school. This curricula is called Counseling and Personal Development, and we wanted to do an evaluation of this school curricula, how was implemented in school, and what are the outcomes for students, parents, and teachers. And I wanted first to learn from the United States, because we don't have so many studies in my country at this moment. So my proposal discusses the importance of evaluating a career guidance program, and also discusses how this program was evaluated in a specific district from the state of Wisconsin. I had the recommendation to go there from my advisor from Boston University. And this district was chosen based on the willingness of the staff to take part in the study and to share their important views and promising practices. What is the theoretical basis for this program? It is based on many years of research done in the United States on the topic of individualized learning plans, which aim to support students to become college and career ready. What is an individualized learning plan? Is a document consisting of a course taking and post-secondary plans, and also contains a documentation of the type of college and career readiness skills that the student has developed after participating in this program. In the American states, this ILP program has different names. Like in the state of Wisconsin, the name is Academic and Career Planning. For example, in Arizona State, the name is Education and Career Action Plan, or in Colorado State, the name is Individual Career and Academic Plan. So it is very decentralized implementation of these ILPs. So I'll discuss about academic and career planning implementation in Wisconsin, which started in at the beginning of 2017. And the target group was composed of pupils from starting with the grade 6, so 12 years old, until the grade 12, until 18 years old. And this process was very well prepared before they started the implementation in schools at the state level and also at district level. Here I added some considerations from the research recommendations. So this is a theoretical model. It has 3 pillars, like self-exploration, career exploration, and career planning and management. And here are some considerations regarding the aim of this ACP model. So the aim is to prepare the students to understand better their own interests, strengths, values, and to create a vision of their future. So they need some self-awareness skills, and they need also planning skills to develop their individual goals and a personal plan to achieve their vision of the future. Here I extracted also some ideas regarding each stage of the academic and career planning, and also some example of activities. For example, in the second stage on career exploration, the students participate in career exploration activities. The schools collaborate with companies to have like visits in companies, to invite professionals in school to discuss with the students, and so on. I will not go in all the details because I have to discuss about the evaluation of this program in my presentation. About the implementation, so I added also information regarding the implementation of the ACP because it is important for us to understand some relevant points. For example, how is implemented as a school curriculum, and it has an advisory period, which in this district took place every Monday for 40 minutes. Each classroom has an advisory teacher who had the role to teach the lessons. The focus at the middle school level is on social and emotional learning and other important skills like communication, creativity, innovation, and collaboration. And at high school, the focus is on college and career readiness. And here I included also some example of activities like career lessons, ACP junior conferences. In these ACP junior conferences, the main role is allocated to the student. So he has to present his future plans in the presence of the advisory teacher or school counselor, and in the presence of his or her parents. So the parents are invited at school to discuss and to take part in these conferences. Also career fair days for students, visiting companies, also for teachers to get familiarized with the specific of the local companies. Also, what is important to add here is that the students are assigned to an advisory teachers, and this teacher stay with the same group of students for 2 years. Also, the school staff is prepared, so they take part in continuous training. They have access to professional resources. They cooperate with school counselors and career and academic learning advisors. And also the parents are involved in the implementation of this program. They receive information, they receive links to a specific website where they can monitor the work done by their children during this program. And also the representatives of the local community and businesses are involved in this program. And I gave here some examples like mentorship, internships, partnership, breakfast organized by the school district with these local community and businesses representatives. And now I'll continue with the next section of my paper, the methodology I employed during this study. So I did first a review of literature on the implementation and evaluation of a career guidance program. And also I did an analysis of reports, artifacts, and documents related to this topic. And for this study, I wanted to mention that I extracted data on the opinion of students and parents on how these ACP conferences are implemented from the internal reports of 2017-2018 of the school district. I did also 6 interviews with decision makers and practitioners involved in the implementation of the ACP, 2 school counselors at middle school and high school level, a middle school principal, a superintendent, a chief academic officer, and a continuous improvement coordinator responsible for the training of the teachers on ACP issues. Also, I did during this week in Wisconsin, I did also an observation of an ACP activity named Reality Store addressed to high school senior students. So I had also the opportunity to take part in this activity for one day, like 8 hours. And in this activity, they involved also the representatives of the local community and companies to take part. The main topics discussed during my interview with these practitioners and decision makers are the following: how ACP is implemented and evaluated in the school district at middle school and high school level, how the participation in ACP influences the students, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this program, and also I wanted to learn what is the overall opinion on the implementation and evaluation process. And the results are presented based on 3 sections: how the activities are evaluated, how teachers, students, and parents are involved in the process of evaluation, and how the participation influences the students. So the first questions: how the activities are evaluated by the school district. I learned that they undertook each year surveys after this ACP conference done by the student together with the teacher and the parents. So after this individual conference, they undertook a survey at middle school level with 1,200 students, parents, and teachers, and at high school level with the same number of students, parents, and teachers. After processing the data from this survey, they are preparing a newsletter. This newsletter is addressed to parents, and the school district explain in this newsletter what are the changes that will be implemented in the program based on the feedback of the parents. Also, they explain if they cannot implement the proposals of the parents. Also, they develop a self-assessment or reflection tool for students to see the progresses of learning about themselves, learning about career opportunities, developing an individualized plan. Also, this tool, this reflection tool for students, can help the school district to see the progresses of the students on the ACP program. Regarding the second question, how teachers, students, and parents are involved in the process of evaluation, the feedback was positive. So I extracted data from a report of 2017 to 2018 So each year they undertake a survey. So here I explained about the ACP conference, and during these conferences, the students lead the discussion and talk with their parents and the resource teacher about their plans. After that, the school district undertook these surveys to see if the parents appreciate this program and how they appreciate the participation in the ACP conference. Also, the students are invited to present what parts they found important, valuable from the ACP conference. And here I extracted some results. So we can see that from 394 documented individual ACP conferences, a high percentage of students and parents felt that discussing goal setting and progress was important. Also, 69% of the parents found that having a facilitated conversation with their child was very helpful for them. Also, at high school level, the results showed also from 403 documented individual ACP conferences show, for example, that discussing career of interest for 79% of students and 84% of parents was very important for them. They appreciate it as an important activity. And 10% of students and 4% of parents did not find the conference beneficial. So these data are quite old now, because I prepared this paper for 2020 when this conference was planned to take place. And regarding the third question, how the participation in ACP influences students, here I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that teachers and school counselors who are involved in this ACP program, they discuss with the parents, they discuss the labor market information, and the parents are informed that if their children will go to the college without a well-defined plan, they may drop out, or they may need 6 years instead of 4 years until graduation. And this situation will require a lot of extra money, a lot of time, a lot of stress. So the participants in the interviews, for example, school directors, school principals, they declared that it is very important that the students begin their post-secondary journey, so choosing the college, with a well-defined plan, like this ACP, to save money, time, and to ensure that they obtain the education and training they need to find satisfaction and financial security in their future outcomes. I extracted also some quotes from the interviews. For example, a school principal declared during the interview that it is very important to convince the teachers about the importance of this program. So if you get the buy-in from the teachers, you can easily receive the buy-in from the students and also from the parents. Also, a continuous improvement coordinator who was responsible for the training of the teachers involved in this program, he declared that during this ACP program, the teachers needed another type of facilitation of the learning, and they required more time to talk with the children as a group. And they declared also the fact that they don't feel as experts in career development, but they understood finally that they have to be experts in conversations with middle school students. They have to be experts in middle schoolers, as this coordinator declared. And also another school principal mentioned that after 1 year and a half, the students are more careful when selecting the classes where they would like to continue the studies, and when they plan for high school. So here is about a school principal from a middle school. Some conclusions regarding the importance of evaluating a career guidance program. It is crucial to have a fully implemented comprehensive career guidance program, because it brings a strong contribution to the academic achievements of the students and also to their career development, personal development, and social integration. Also, this program, Academic and Career Planning, showed that in the opinions of decision makers and practitioners, the students can obtain positive school outcomes, and also they show during these surveys that they have a stronger intention to continue their studies. Also, regarding the involvement of students, parents, and teachers, so involving the beneficiaries of the career guidance programs in the process of evaluation, contributes to a better awareness, a better information, and a better understanding of the process of career guidance. So finally, I would like to thank you so much for your attention and interest in the topics presented. And if you would like to contact me to discuss more on this topic, please, I write here my email address. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And I'm much interested in your presentation, because I was at UC Berkeley to study in career technical education in California State. And courage and career readiness is a very important notion to promote career education. So your explanation is in the Wisconsin State case. Dr. Solberg was an ex-professor of the Wisconsin University. He was now in the Boston University.
He was my supervisor during the scholarship. Yes.
I met him the first at Padova in Italy more than 10 years ago. He's a very nice guy. And there is a very special teacher credential in California to implement career technical education, career technical education teacher. Is it a special credential of the teachers? Is there any special education teacher credential in Wisconsin to implement ACP or to assessment of the ACP, academic and career planning, and assess to implement assessment of the activities? This is my first question.
Thank you. Thank you. What I understood from, because my study took place only for 1 week, so I learned a lot from the reports from the studies. So I don't have the practical involvement in the process. So what I learned from the continuous learning responsible, she was responsible for the teachers training in this district. So I learned only from one district during 1 week. She told me that the teachers are selecting are taking place in training courses during the summer. So they have like a personalized training if they choose to take part in this ACP preparation to implement. And they collaborate very well also with the school counselor in each school. This is what I can answer now.
Yes. There are the school counselor and the teachers, which is the main person to implement the assessment of the ACP.
Yes, and also this, I mentioned the name of just a moment, because they have some specific names which are different from the names in my country. So it is a continuous learning responsible, and also an academic officer. She was responsible for the survey, and I had an interview with her. So the name is officer, a chief academic officer. She was responsible for the whole implementation at middle school. But they collaborate with the school counselor and also with the school principal.
I see.
Even the superintendent from this district, the superintendent is a sort of inspector at management level. He was very interested in the results and in the evaluation of the program.
I see. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My turn? Okay. I'll share my PowerPoint first. Can you see my slide? Yes, very big one, probably. Can I start or wait? I see. Thank you. My theme of the presentation, the possibility of examining the effectiveness of a career education program through follow-up survey. This study is an attempt to verify the effect of career education practices using a follow-up survey method. This study is also an attempt to bridge theory and practice in Okinawa Prefecture in Japan in collaboration with company that promotes community-based career education practices, including job shadowing. First, I would like to introduce the two co-authors of this study. Both of them have been practicing career education project in Okinawa Prefecture in Japan as business people. As a researcher, I have been supporting their projects. Please introduce yourself in Japanese. First, Hiroe-san. Kian-san, お願いします。
はい。Nice to meet you. My name is Hiroe Kyan. 皆さん、はじめまして。私はHiroe Kyanと申します。グッジョブ沖縄プロジェクトの、代表をしております。今回の発表の元となる地域連携型キャリア教育プログラムは、私が2008年に沖縄で始めた仕組みです。この14年の間に、本プログラムは 沖縄県内の多くの自治体で取り組まれて、多くの子どもたちがプログラムを経験しています。このような貴重な機会に私が関わってきました長年のプロジェクトの成果について取り組みを支援していただいた三村教授と同僚のザハさんと一緒に発表できることをとても幸せに感じています。
I'll translate her speech. My name is Hiroe Kana. I'm the president of Good Job Okinawa Project Corporation. The basic of this presentation is a community-based career education program, which I started in Okinawa in 28. Over the past 14 years, the program has been implemented in many local governments in Okinawa, and many children have experienced the program. I feel very happy to have this precious opportunity to present the result of the project that I have been involved in for many years, together with Professor Mimura and my colleague, Mrs. Zaha. And the next person, Mariko Zaha, please introduce yourself.
はい。はい。Nice to meet you. My name is Mariko Zaha. I'm participating from Okinawa today. 沖縄県には高校のない離島が25島あって、15歳までのキャリア形成支援が大きなテーマになっています。このような現状から沖縄県内に産学間地域連携の仕組みを構築して子どもを取り巻くさまざまな関係者が連携しながら人材育成確保並びに地域の活性を目指して地域連携型キャリア教育に取り組んできました。今日はよろしくお願いします。Thank you.
I'll translate her speech. In Okinawa Prefecture, there are 25 remote islands that do not have high schools, and supporting career development before the age of 15 is a major theme. In response to this situation, we have established a system of industry, academia, government, community cooperation in Okinawa Prefecture, and are working on community-based career education with the aim of fostering and securing human resources and revitalizing the community through cooperating among various parties involved with children. So I'll explain the problems in Okinawa, Japan about 10 or more years ago. In Okinawa Prefecture, which was the highest unemployment rate in Japan, in 29, the unemployment rate in Okinawa Prefecture was 7.5%, much higher than the national rate of 5.1%. By age group, the unemployment rate is high among young people, especially among those aged 15 to 19 at 15.9% compared to 9.1% nationwide. As the rate of the undecided career paths after high school graduation and the high rate of young people leaving the workplace at an early age are still higher than the national average and are one of the factors contributing to the human resources shortage in the industry in Okinawa. And the Good Job Project, considering the current situation in 28 KO partners, the both of them are joining the company, limited KP established a system of collaboration among the industries, schools, and government agencies in Okinawa Prefecture to support the career development of elementary and junior high school students, and has developed a community-based career education program named Good Job Project. Good Job Project consisted of 15 hours of pre-learning for job shadowing, 4 hours of just job shadowing, and 10 hours of post-learning. KP has been developing good job projects with schools and local administrations, and at the same time showing the cost effectiveness to the administration every year in order to continue good job project. It is important to demonstrate the effectiveness of the educational program for students, and brief pre and post questionnaires has been administered to children who have participated in the program. This is an image of the job shadowing project by KU partners. The student writing down something just behind the workers, like a job shadowing. Okay, like this. Like this one, a farmer's job shadow, and like this. This is a progress of the developing of the job shadowing project. 28 beginning, 28 to 2010 at the beginning of the implementations, and 2011 full-scale implementations started in 11 areas in Okinawa Prefecture. And from 2012, beginning practice with a focus on unique local initiatives, depends on the local situations. And the follow-up survey, Kitanaka-Gusuku village, which is one of the areas implementing the good job project, required for a more elaborate evaluation of good job project. KP was commissioned to undertake this study with proposal to verify the effectiveness of good job project and to make improvement to good job project based on the follow-up survey of the good job project's subjects. That is, the students targeted by good job project. There are two reasons for proposing the follow-up survey. First, the follow-up survey allows us to measure the impact of good job project by learning about the current situation of the subjects, and knowing the impact allows us to identify ways to improve good job project. Secondly, through interviews of the follow-up survey, we can check on the subject's career development and support them if they are facing career problems or career challenges. Kitanaka-Gusuku Bridge Good Job Project is like this. The project started in 2012 under the cooperation of industries, schools, government, and the local community. The purpose of this project is to nurture a sense of work among the children and to develop their awareness of employment and to develop local human resources who will be responsible for the future of Kitanaka-Gusuku village from an early stage. There are two elementary schools in Kitanaka-Gusuku village, that is an S elementary school and K elementary school. But 2012 Good Job project started only at S elementary school, and then through the follow-up survey, it became possible to investigate the experimental and control groups for measuring the effectiveness of the Good Job project. The number of students who were in 6th grade at each elementary school in 2012 was as follows. S elementary school, 36 students. K elementary school, 83 students. S elementary school is an experimental group, and K elementary school is a control group. The purpose of the study. The purpose of the study is to develop a reliable follow-up survey to examine the social and vocational independence of the pupils targeted by a Good Job project and analyze the preliminary findings for the main survey. Research methodology, setting up committee to investigate the Good Job Project. I'm a member of a committee and sharing the target of the study in the committee. As a preliminary survey, this was implemented December 2019 and January 2020. The main survey, August 2020 to January 2021. And quantitative survey, web questionnaires, 14 questions. And qualitative survey, face-to-face interviews. Results of just a preliminary survey. We wrote this manuscript 2 years ago because the conference was used to be held last year. Respondents to the preliminary survey was 18. 10 was graduates of S elementary school and 8 was graduates of K elementary school, where the Good Job Project was administered. Responding to the question of whether they had experienced Good Job Project, while 14 said S elementary school 10 and K elementary school 4. They've not be experienced. They've not experienced the Good Job Project. Just an S elementary school did. Said they had. Oh, we are surprised to see the result. And 1 S0 K1 says had not. And 3 S0 K3 said they could not remember. And 3 of the 18 respondents were interviewed. The authors interviewed them in January 2020. The interviews were conducted in semi-structured interviews and mainly asked about a Good Job Project and other career education practices. The survey took about an hour, and there were occasions when all subjects were consulted on the topic of future career choices. Discussion of the preliminary survey. All of the graduates from S elementary school said that they had experienced Good Job Project, while 4 graduates from K elementary school also said that they had. The Good Job Project was memorable for the graduates who had experienced it. In the main survey, the questionnaires for S elementary school and K elementary school were separated, so the graduates of K elementary school would not be able to say that they had experienced a Good Job Project. We had to improve the questionnaires. By interviewing the interviewee about their past career education in the follow-up survey, they were asked about working, how they handled challenges, what to do after college, and other topics. During the interview, current and future issues emerged in the interviewee, and career counseling was taking shape in the interview. And COVID-19. Due to the COVID-19, the IAVG conference was postponed by the year, and we were fortunate to be able to present the part of the results of the main survey. The main survey, August 2020 to January 2021, the respondents, S elementary school, was 14 by 36 students. The respondent rate is 38.9%. K elementary school, just 7, 8.4%. And quantitative surveys, the significant differences between the graduate of the 2 elementary school in the cross tabulation. Table 1, next slide, and qualitative surveys. This one is I choose the difference is very significant questions. Okay. Just question 10, please score 41 points through the following career education you have experienced in elementary, middle, and high schools. A 10-4 questionnaire. I wanted to know more about the work of the people at home and as many professions as possible in the company. And the result is significant. Less than 0.05. And 10-7, I found out that I can help someone through my work. Significant difference between S elementary school and K elementary school. S is better one. And question 13. When you are a junior or a senior high school student, please give 41 points for learning and graduate that helped you to think about your future career after graduation and how you want to live your future. And the student choose experimental activities, job shadowing, work experience, and internship. And then very significant between two elementary schools. And qualitative surveys through interview. Through interview, we were able to hear stories about how listening to a lecture by a professional when they were in high school was a decisive factor in their choice of career, and about how they are currently living outside the village, but have a goal to returning to the village after employment to contribute to the community and the local children. The hearing was an important opportunity to hear voices that were not picked up in the questionnaires, quantitative questionnaires. So, tentative consolidation. The possibility of factual incorrect result due to fuzzy memories from the follow-up studies was found. The modification of the main survey by the preliminary survey improved and accuracy of the follow-up survey. Efforts should be made at the stage of creating questionnaires items so that responses to quantitative and qualitative surveys can be. Due to the results of this study, a request of follow-up survey have been expanding from Kitanagagusk village to Tarama village and Kume Island as local governments seek cost effectiveness in community-based career education. In the two additional regions, several questionnaires unique to the region were added. And this is data of the additional two areas follow-up survey, Kume Island town and Tarama village in fiscal year 2021. Kume town survey September 2021, target age 18 years old. Number 74 respondents, 46, 62.2%, very high rate because their high school teachers cooperated to the survey. Interviewee to volunteer, and Tarama village survey July 2021, target age 18 years old, number 13 respondents, 61.5%. interview 0, and we are seeking a student for volunteering now in adjustment, and 5. A survey July 2021 targeted 20 years old. Tarama village has a 2 kind of years. One is 18 years old. This one they are a high school student, almost same as a high school student, but 20 years old and after graduation of high school, from high school. And so the number is 16, but respondents are just 1, 6.3%. It's very important to get a high school assistant. Interview is 0, 1 in adjustment. This study has completed its preliminary investigation, and it is process of entering the main investigation. The survey area is expanding, so please look forward to future publications. We are integrating the result of the survey. Those who would like to get this PowerPoint or further information can contact to the following mail address, mimura@waseda.jp. Thank you very much for your listening. Is there anyone?
Yes, okay. Well, thanks a lot for the
Jouke?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Okay. Next presenter, Jouke. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Well, we will be presenting the next session for the Saxion University of Applied Sciences.
Nice.
On the career checks, what works. My name is Jouke Post, and I'm a lecturer and researcher on the Saxion University. And next to me is
Jouke.
I'm a researcher as well at Saxion University. Sorry, is there a problem?
Everything is
good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is our research, and we will be presenting it from the slides. The first is the context of the research. We are doing research on career checks, and with a specific focus on the use of career checks by practical educated people. We will tell something more about what career checks are in a minute. The research has 3 phases. In the first phase, we have researched the quality and effects on career checks with both quantitative measurements. And the second phase will be is a research on labor market information and how it can be used in career checks and how it can be optimized. And the third phase is the evaluation of some concrete career checks in case studies. Third phase is
I see. Case studies. Okay.
And there is someone who has his microphone on, I think, because we still hear some people. Maybe you can mute your microphone. The research has been conducted during 2020 and 2021, so it's still in progress. We will finish the most results in the next month. And in this presentation, we will focus on phase 1 and 2. Jos will tell something about phase 1, and I will tell something about phase 2.
Yeah, it's a closing. Yes.
What's the comment?
Can you see our presentation?
But this is a time for not this still my time
You see
to
presentation.
receive the
right now.
question. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our research is conducted by 3 University of Applied Sciences and the Open University, and it is in close collaboration with the NOLOG, which is the body of career professionals in the Netherlands, and sponsor is Instituut GAK in the Netherlands. So these are the conditions and the research questions. The first point we have to address is what is a career check? And there's the definition, which is based on previous research. A career check is a set of tools that helps an individual gain insight into the value of his or her own skills for the current and future labor market and helps him or her make future-oriented career choices. So that's the definition we came up with in the previous research, and you can notice that it has mainly to do with the fit for the future, which is a kind of policy aim also. A lot of people are not very much busy with their career, and a lot of policy goals are aiming at stimulating people to be more aware of their future chances on the labor market. So that's the context of the research. A more elaborated definition is this one, where we can say that a career check has to do is mostly a short trajectory guided by a career professional. That's of course a very crucial element in which participants are made to reflect about themselves and their career by conversations or interviews and tools, which are actually usually contained of 2 components: a more reflective component concerning their qualities and skills. So that's summarized in the concept of self-awareness, and a more action-oriented component aimed at exploring and testing possibilities, which is more in the outside or of the current employment situation. And that's summarized as the opportunity awareness. You see that in the picture also. So these are the 2 main components of those career checks, and they have to lead to some kind of action. So the career check has those 3 crucial elements in it to be defined as a career check. So that's the definition of a career check. Jos will tell something about the methodology.
Yeah. I will tell you something about the research, and in the first place something about the methodology of our research. It is about phase 1, which Jouke told you about. Phase 1 is about the quality and the effects of career checks. And phase 1 consists of 2 parts. And the first part is the quantitative part of the research. And we did a questionnaire among 97 career professionals. And we asked them about different parts of career checks. In the first place, characteristics of the respondents, characteristics of the career checks, and the features of those checks, the effects, and the parts of labor market information in the career checks. The second part of the research is a qualitative part. We interviewed 30 people that consists of 10 users of the career checks or the clients, 10 career professionals or the career coaches, and 10 HRM professionals of companies who use career checks as part of their organization or HR policy. I will now tell you something about the most important results of our research. The slides consist a whole list of outcomes, and I will pick some out and tell something about it. The first part of the results are about the cause, motivation, experience of the career checks. And what's remarkable is that clients who did the career check do not have many expectations. Their expectations are very open at the start of the career check. Then about the content of the check, we see that there's a big variety in the duration, instruments, and working methods of the career checks. And what is important and remarkable is that self-awareness is a very important part of the checks, and is the basis of the realization of career goals. And that means that knowing your skills area, knowing your areas of interest, knowing your working values are important anchors for the realization of those career goals. Then the part of labor market information as part of a career check. What we see is that labor market information is mostly used to know the needed skills for a certain vocation, or to assess the value of skills of the client. And what we see is that labor market information is rarely discussed explicitly to know job opportunity, or to know job chances on the labor market. About the effects, what's remarkable is that employers say that the effect of checks for practical skilled workers is lower, and that is because they see that lower of practically educated workers experience or they have a lack of experience urgency to make career changes, and career switches for those workers are much more rigorous. What we also see is that clients say that after they did the check, they have a better job search strategy. They have a better presentation toward potential employers, and they are more self-confident, and that is also remarked by the professionals. We also asked in the interviews, we asked some questions about the embedding of career checks in the HR policy, and that's only asked to the HR professionals, of course. And what they say is that operational managers have a crucial role in stimulating thinking about the career of employees, and they see those operational managers as a success factor. And what's also a success factor is the attention that those managers give to in conversation with their employees to stimulating self-control in taking career steps. Yeah. We also asked, also see some impediments in making career steps, and what's remarkable is that employees have some fear to talk about career steps with their managers. So they think, when I talk about making career steps, maybe my manager think I'm going to leave the organization. It's very sensitive topic. And what we also see is in Dutch we call it the golden cage, not the golden cage. I heard that in English is the gilded cage, but what it means is that your working conditions and your salary is so good that it becomes very unattractive to leave the organization and to make career steps outside the organization. Also, what's impeded, what's impeded, thank you, Jouke, is the organization climate that's without obligation, so there's no pressure to make steps. We also see some impediments in the organization. What's special is that participants who have been sent for career checks often remain in a negative mode, and what's very important that you have an intrinsic motivation to do some career check. What we also see is that practically educated have more difficulty with self-insight. So to look at their qualities, at their skills, at their working values, and so on. And what organizations say is that they have fewer career tools available for practically educated workers. Well, I think that's about it for the results of the research. Yeah, we combined the quantitative part with the qualitative part, and yeah, I think we have some rich info and some new insights of the use of career checks. And I think you will take over about the labor market information.
Thank you, Jos.
Yes.
I will tell something about phase 2. Phase 2 is a different phase because this is desk research. We didn't interview or make any questionnaires on these issues. We did mostly desk research. And the research question of these phase 2 were these three: how and under what conditions can information concerning future labor market developments be accessed for use in career checks? Which indicators are meaningful or relevant for the end users of these checks? And what good practices in the Netherlands and abroad are concerning LMI are relevant, useful, and inspiring. So we looked around and checked what things could be inspiring for our project and our research project. I will pick out some of the results because it's a lot of information, in fact, that we came across. But this is one of the things we researched. We looked in the literature for the conditions of optimal use of labor market information. So, what is necessary? What are core components of these labor market information, and what should it consist of? What are also some quality attributes? These are the first 8 we just summarized from all kinds of literature. You can see them on the left side: up-to-date, reliable, granular, which means that they should be it should be able to adjust the labor market information to the end user, so to the clients or to the professional, and it should also have some kind of regional or sectoral elements. Sometimes it should be structured. It should have some kind of pedagogical design, so it should also have some kind of learning elements in it. It should be related to the context, and the element of future orientation is of course important. Also sometimes problematic because it's not so easy to make projections about the future of the labor market in LMI. So this is also wishful, but not always feasible. And an important point which we come across in the next slide also is the element of open access of free of charge. So this is a summary of this table summarizes our literature search. We also found some very specific relevant literature. I will put them on this slide. On the left side, you see the review of evidence on careers and labor market information. It was published 2 years ago. And at the upper side, you see the Oxford Handbook, which has a very beautiful chapter on LMI for career development. So these are very actual publications on these issues. And for example, this picture tells something about things that good practice for producers of LMI should consist of. So there are all kind of normative components, which you see in the purple circles. What should LMI be, and how should it be presented to the end user or maybe to the career professional? This is very beautiful material we found, and this we will translate into some kind of demands for in career checks. But I will also tell you something about an important resource from Canada, where there is the Labour Market Information Council, which is very systematic research and publications on these elements from this part of our study. And what they have developed is a quality checklist. So what kind of attributes, what kind of components should LMI consist of, and what are the standards or the norms that are ideal to the production and also to the presentation of LMI. And this is a very accurate and very complete and cohesive checklist. So you can see it for yourself. But for example, this also has the element of is it cost-free and publicly available? Is the data open? Is it statistically sound? So this is a more advanced checklist from the 8 components we saw earlier. And I think this will be, we will use this in trying to optimize the whole element of a labor market information and career check. So this is a very important resource in our research, and I'll just show it in this presentation a bit more exhaustive. So you can also find these resources at the labor market information in Canada, because it's really a relevant source for our field. Well, this is the phase 2. There are lots of things we will do more, but because of the time, I will just pick out some pieces about this research. Some conclusions and results we have. This is the final slide of our presentation. Jos told about phase 1. That phase is now closed, and we have published 2 articles in Dutch. You see them on the right side. One of them is about the survey amongst career professionals. Jos told about, and the other one is more literature summary on the evidence-based of career guidance. They're both in Dutch and published in the magazine of the NOLOG, the Dutch body of career professionals. Phase 2 is in progress, the LMI research, and it will lead to recommendations also for policy, because career checks are an important element of public policy on career guidance in the Netherlands, and also for practice on how to use LMI in career checks and how to use it more in career guidance in general. And another thing we will develop is that we also will make some resources, for example, webinars or other resources or publications on the use of LMI in career guidance. And we will do that in close cooperation with the NOLOG, which is the Dutch body of career professionals I mentioned earlier. So this is also some kind of education to translate our research into more concrete products aimed at the career guidance sector. Phase 3 is in progress, so we cannot talk about that for a lot because the data are not already assembled. But we do have problems collecting this quantitative data. Clients, as we told, our target group is the lower educated. They're not very eager to participate in this kind of research where surveys are the main component. But we're now switching a bit to more interviewing them on how they have experienced those career checks and what are the main elements they have experienced during that trajectory. Now, well, this is the short presentation. We will finish this research in the next year. We will publish also about it. If you have any questions, you are welcome to post them now or in mail if you want to. Thank you very much for your attention. I will stop sharing my screen. Thank you. We have 2 questions in the chat. One is then for Jos. Are all the career checks in the survey digital? how many are digital? Have you examined pros and cons of digital career checks? Can you say something?
Oh, well, in many checks they use the digital instruments, but the checks are mostly not digital. Yeah.
Okay, because there are interviews with them. There are live interviews,
Yeah.
conversation with career professionals. And the other question is also from David Meulemans. How many of these checks are embedded in organizations? Can you say something about
that? Well, that's difficult to say, because the part that's about the embedded in the organization is from the interviews and not from the questionnaire. So in the questionnaire we did not ask about the embeddedness of career checks in organizations. So
okay. Are there more questions for us? Okay.
Thank you very much for your coordinating